Haha, you guys thought I hated the Polestar 4 just because I've made a few negative videos about this car. Though that is true, I absolutely, from the deepest within my heart, love the Polestar 4. I love this car I have beneath my feet. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the 29 things I love about this car. This headlight is called the dual blade headlight, and you can see that these DRLs are like blades but in opposite direction, hence the name dual blade. It is a very beautiful design. I really like the way this looks, and it is very distinct on the road. This Polestar 4 is the first Polestar and production Polestar to get these dual blade headlight designs on the front. I first saw these with the Precept concept in 2021 when I interviewed Max Missoni, who was at the time head of design at Polestar, and we spoke specifically about these headlights. And it's really cool to see this car having these dual blade headlights on a production model. I know it is a very small thing and it's not very elegant compared to other fancy charging ports, but I just love the simplicity and it being electrically operated. It just feels very solid. It is very purposeful. There are no gimmicks. It just works, and I love it. We first saw this with the Polestar 1, and ever since, every Polestar have gotten these frameless exterior mirrors. So usually in a mirror housing, the glass moves within the housing, but because this actually has glass all the way out to the borders, hence it being frameless, the whole housing moves. And in person, in real life, these are some of the prettiest exterior mirrors of any car. This is just a small thing, but the way the door opens, just the mechanical pull, the weight, the feel, and the sound, it is just a very solid feeling door. And a lot of doors recently in the past few years have a tendency to feel cheap and hollow. This, you just feel the weight of it. It's nice. I mean, guys, just look at this rare 3/4. It is one of the best looking rare 3/4 of any car, in my opinion, in a long time. It just looks so good. And then we have this rear light bar design. I mean, it's basically just a straight line across the rear deck of the car, and then it comes down on each side. It's like a super simple thing. But somehow Polestar, with the 3D effect and just the size of it and just the thick of it and just the width of it, have made this look like one of the most attractive rear light bar designs in any car, in my opinion. I just love the way it looks. I mean, this has to be one of the best profile views of any car. It's just so pretty. Enough said. This car is equipped with these 22-inch performance wheels, which are exclusive to the Performance Pack. It has a very unique 4-spoke design, or actually double or quadruple 4 spokes, depending on how you count the spokes. Either way, these are some of the most unique wheel designs in the car industry in the past several decades. The build quality and quality of materials on the Polestar 4 is impressive for this price point. I mean, there are soft touch plastics everywhere, even down low in the cab, and you have this beautiful tailored knit pattern here, which covers a speaker, I think, behind the door panel. Go check out my video where I visited Polestar Design Studio in Torslanda in Sweden, where I talked to the interior designers, the color material and fabric interior designers, about the quality of materials, because it is so impressive. All the touch points, look at this, soft touch plastics, everything just feels solid. You have this beautiful fabric which is stitched on top of the door. Everything you touch and feel on the steering wheel, you know, this trim that goes around here, this feels solid. The Polestar logo here also looks really nice. Everything is just of high quality. The headliner is a fabric. I mean, it's impressive. The build quality of the Polestar 4, absolutely. After spending more than a week with this car, I have to say, I think these are one of the most comfortable and supportive seats of any car. There's a ton of adjustability, even though this, thigh support is manual. You just adjust it once and then you're good to go. Super supportive, and I just love the way they look. They're kind of a copy of the seats you find in a Porsche Panamera, but I love Porsches, guys. I daily a Taycan, so I'm not complaining. And then you have this tailored knit interior theme. So tailor knit refers to this pattern of knitting on the seats here and also on the dashboard. I just love this light on gray theme with the stitching everywhere. It's just a very warm and beautiful and nice atmosphere. The only way to top this up for me is to go for the Napa leather interior in the Sync color. But I just love this tailored knit theme with all of these details. A beautiful interior. The switchgear of the Polestar 4 is also very satisfactory to use. Everything just feels really nicely weighted, has a really nice sound, and just feels solid. These window switches, these door lock buttons, and then the door release also. Really, really nice. The same goes for the indicator stock here. It just feels very solid. It's just very satisfactory to use. Pressing the buttons, turning the knobs. I just really like interacting with this car with the physical elements. The Polestar 4 has a volume knob with a pause play button on top. I don't know, there's nothing else to say. I mean, that is all I have to say. Volume knob in 2024. Applause, Polestar, applause. There are so many intricate details scattered across the cabin of the Polestar 4. Beautiful stitching, trim details, metal bits and bobs. It's just a really nice place and interesting cabin to explore. The rear seats of this car are massive. I mean, this seat is set to a driver around 6 foot, 182, 183 centimeters. I'm about 180 centimeters with shoes, so about 5 foot 11. And I have tons of room. It is so spacious, it is so airy, and it's so wide and comfortable, these rear seats. It has to be the best rear seat in any car, like below 70,000 euros. It's great. And talking about the rear seats, on the rear armrest, there are these buttons flanking each side. So these buttons are for this seat. I have buttons on my side of the armrest, and if I press this, the rear back reclines, giving you this really relaxed position. Yeah, this is awesome. And also, guys, the view from the rear seats is awesome. You get this really nice and airy view of this spacious cabin. It's just a really nice place to spend time in the back of the Polestar 4. This car has a 15.4-inch infotainment system screen, and the layout of the infotainment system is great. It is so easy to use. You have, these large tiles here. You also have this bottom bar, which you have your shortcuts to your home menu, to your apps, to your driver settings. All of these shortcuts there. Everything is so intuitive and easy and fast to use. I really, really love it. But then you have like the fine details, which is this home screen. And I think this has to be my favorite home screen of any car. So to the left, you have your Google Maps, your navigation, and then you have these 4 customizable tiles, which is great. So here you have your favorite shortcuts. Here I have my media. Now I have Spotify playing, and then on the right top corner, I have my trip computer. If I press this home button here, it expands the whole menu to just being a whole screen to just being the maps. But then I press this home button and it always defaults to my home menu setting, to my preferred setting. And these are the apps, these are the settings I use all the time, and having everything just readily available on the home screen is just great. I just love this setup. And then we have this driver display. I think this is 8.9 inches across. It is very slim, very sleek, and very elegant. And if I put the car into drive, you can see that it shows me my Google Maps, the same maps as I have in the infotainment system screen. Everything's just so easily laid out. I can also, let's see if we can just dismiss that. And I can also change the view of this. It's just really, really nice. I love this setup. It is super easy to use, and in the real world, very, very useful and practical. This is super cool and unique to the Polestar 4, and that is the light ambiance settings. You're not just choosing colors, you're actually choosing themes like the sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, etc. And it also gives you all of these details about these planetary bodies like Jupiter, with an average temperature of minus 110 degrees Celsius, an average day length of 10 hours, and also the size and the gravity, 2.4 times the gravity of the Earth. As a space nerd, I love this. And if you have kids, what is a better way to teach them about the solar system and space than through the screen and infotainment system of your car? That is great. We're only going like 40 kilometers an hour, 50 now. But it is so quiet, even on 22-inch wheels with two 65mm wide tires. Let's see if we can go get a little bit quicker. 70. I don't have to raise my voice. It is so quiet, this cabin, even at speed. Even going 100 kilometers an hour, you barely have to raise your voice. And also the ride comfort, again, on 22-inch wheels, is very, very impressive. This car has the adaptive damper, so you have 3 settings. You have standard, nimble, and firm. And I just drive this car in standard all the time because it offers good body control, but it is at the same time very, very comfortable. It's impressive. And then you have the performance. So the drivetrain is set to performance, dual electric motors, 544 horsepower. Let's do a launch. It spins those Michelins, even on bare asphalt. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 3.8 seconds. There is plenty performance here for most people. And then when you get it going, there's also 3 different settings for the steering weight or steering feel, as they say. And I just keep it to standard because there's light, there's firm. And I have to say, like, off-center, it doesn't feel very natural, like compared to my Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo, my daily driver. It feels very nice off-center. It doesn't have as much weight, but I don't think it needs weight because we're talking about feel. Feel and weight isn't the same. The way this steering weights up and gives you feedback through the corners is very nice and very textured. Could it use a little bit more weight? Well, you can put it into firm. Let's see if that helps a bit, but I really don't think it helps at all. I don't think it gives the car more feel because that off-center is just a little bit wonky. So I prefer having it in standard. So giving you a little bit lighter off-center feel, and then there's just enough texture through the rim to tell you what the car is doing. It is actually very, very impressive. Here, on throttle, you can feel, you can feel the, we went off a little bit there. There's a little bit of ice on the here on the edges of the road, so just a little bit slippery. But you can feel the steering weighting up. You can feel the texture of the road. It is very impressive, this steering. Porsche level impressive, not quite there, but it is actually pretty good and better than most. The Polestar 4 offers great value. It doesn't matter if you spec a rear-wheel drive version, a dual motor version, if you have few options, or if you spec it all out with all the bells and whistles. It just offers great value either way. So guys, there we go. 5 plus 5 plus 7 equals 17. 29 is a bigger number, so by mathematics and by science, I love the Polestar 4 more than I hate it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.